Well, it's Monday, and it is the first Monday in the month of August 2020. It's a new month. It is still proper to say Happy New Month. Welcome to the first edition of the program, The Platform, for a new month, the month of August 2020. This is the pinnacle of all discussions right here on FLO 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state, where we take a look at critical issues as it affects our dear nation, Nigeria, right here on FLO 94.9 FM every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday. And of course, my name is Michael Oni. All right, this morning we're taking a look at the argument that raged between the geo-ethnic groups in the country last week in the wake of MAMAN DAURA's comment about power shift in 2023. In case you do not have an idea of what happened, President Muhammadu Buhari's nephew, MAMAN DAURA, reputed to be one of the most influential persons in the corridors of power, spoke recently to the Hausa service of the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC. In that interview with the BBC Hausa service, that was on July 28, 2020, MAMAN DAURA opined that competence, not geography, should determine the next president of the country in 2023. Days before that, on July 24, 2020, former House of Representatives Speaker Yakubu Dogara had defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress APC. These twin events have rekindled the agitation for the Northeast geopolitical zone to produce the next vice president in 2023 presidential election, especially in the APC. The call for the Northeast region to produce the APC's next vice presidential candidate is gaining some momentum now. In fact, recently, a syndicate in court of 10 northern groups within the APC urged the party to present a new young face from the Northeast as its vice presidential candidate and zone the presidency to the Southwest in 2023 presidential election. Many groups have been emerging in the Northeast advocating for the post of the vice president, but the APC 10 northern groups is being touted as the most powerful. The group boasts of the support of some youths and many groups from the northwestern part of the country and north central regions who back the calls for the Northeast to produce the next vice president, and some possible names are also being touted. But let's go straight to the discussion today. When MAMAN DAURA came out from backstage to say that we should discard power rotation and choose the next president on merit, many were agitated, especially in the southeastern part of the country. MAMAN DAURA wants power rotation jettisoned because it denies the nation competence where it matters most. He actually said that power rotation had failed. Nigeria is a country where quota system and federal character have had their knees on the neck of merit for decades. MAMAN DAURA was talking about competence and merit over the 2023 presidential slot. Now that power ought to, according to some critics, ought to shift to the south, especially the southeast. Now, some of the questions we will be asking this morning, as I will introduce my resource persons and of course the analyst on the program, The Platform this morning. Zoning and rotation, is it good for, should it be basis for emergence and victory? MAMAN DAURA is an accomplished journalist and a businessman and has always been in the news for his alleged leadership of the Aso Rock cabal. Remember the cabal that is being touted to be controlling the presidency, according to the wife of the president, that is running the country on behalf of the president. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's political leadership has since in 1999 been rotated between the southern and the northern part of the country. The unwritten arrangement has played a key role in determining who emerges the president in the largely ethno-religious sensitive nation, and southern political leaders expect it will be the turn of the region to produce the president in 2023 when President Muhammadu Buhari from the northwestern part of the country, which Katsina State, completes a second term. And there has been reactions to this particular interview granted on BBC Hausa service by MAMAN DAURA. The Ohaneze Indibo, the Apex Igbo socio-cultural group, insisted that it would be the turn of the South, particularly the Southeast, to produce the president in 2023. The organization warned that equity should not be sacrificed on the altar of parochialism, since it was the rotation sentiment that produced the incumbent. All right, one will be asking, this particular very sensitive statement coming from Malam Daura, what is the reaction of the presidency? Well, the presidency came out, reacted to the call by President Muhammadu Buhari's nephew, Maman Daura, that zoning of the presidency should be jettisoned for competence. Mr. Daura is an influential and controversial figure in the presidency, of course, like I did mention this morning, and he said the zoning formula, which had been adopted for over 2 decades in the election of the country's leader, has failed. First public reaction to this controversy by the presidency, that was on Saturday. Mr. Daura's comment, of course, it was Garuba Shehu, the spokesperson in the presidency, that came out, and I quote now: "It is important that we state from the onset that, as mentioned by the interviewee, the views expressed were personal to him and did not in any way reflect that of either the president or his administration." The statement suggested Mr. Daura was quoted out of context. But this morning we're taking a deeper look into that statement, the implication, especially that southeastern part of the country are clamoring to have a fair share in the distribution of things in the country, especially as far as the presidency position is concerned. This is coming at a time that the country is sensitive to some very important issues as far as a rotation, federal character principle is concerned. So that will be our focus this morning on the platform right here on FLO 94.9 FM. It is the pinnacle of all discussion. All right, let's begin the conversation. I have an analyst ready over the phone this morning, Comrade Nelson Nana Nwafo, the Executive Director, Foundation for Environmental Rights, Advocacy and Development, and also a political analyst and human rights activist. Glad to have you join us this morning, Comrade. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yes, my name is Michael, and you're live on FLO 94.9 FM. Now,
Okay,
what
sir.
is your reaction to the comments by Maman Daura on power rotation?
I actually do not know why he should be in that conversation. Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Because this thing has to do with the constitution. It has to do with the framework.
Okay, when you say it has to do with the constitution, what exactly?
Yes. Actually, what I mean is that, power rotational is actually what was structured in the constitution, north and then south. So, and when somebody who is not in the administrative office of the government begin to discuss the issue of power rotation, it looks very funny. It sounds as if we don't have framework, as if we don't have elected representatives who are supposed to advocate for all these different changes. So Maman Daura discussing about rotational presidency does not fall within his power to discuss such thing.
Okay, but now the argument here is that Maman Daura, as nephew to Mr. President, does not hold any political position.
For office, yes.
He does not hold any office. Then why should his sentence, that interview, cause agitation in some quarters?
I don't think people should regard that his comment because if the president that really that comment that hold that interview, people would have been worried to begin to make some few comments or begin to agitate over such a comment. But now this is a no-few to the president who does not hold political office, who does not make decisions in the governance of the state. So I felt that there's no need for public debate. There's not even need for public agitation, because I know that the issue of rotational presidency is a thing that has to do with the constitution, is a thing that has to do with the framework, and it falls within the purpose of the political office holders to discuss such issues. So I don't think that is an interview to generate public comments or public agitation.
Okay, according to that interview that he granted, and it is generating a lot of reactions now, he said that he said that competence should be taken a look at to select who will be the next president. He opined that competence and not geography. Don't you think that he has a point?
Well, the issue that competence is very key. Is actually very important. Is a part of the requisite for the presidency, for the seat of the presidency. But in a situation where we have a constitutional framework guarding the state, or the country, because
Okay.
when you have somebody that we say that is very competent, and the person is from the north, while the north have already have a shot at the presidency, that the presidency should move to the south, so it doesn't hold water. So in his own argument, it is good. We need somebody who is very competent, who is very knowledgeable. But the person must come from the south, because it is a turn of the south to produce the president of the country, which is enshrined with the constitution, which is enshrined in our legal framework as the equitable distribution of political positions as enshrined in the Federal Character Commission.
Okay, do you think it is proper for to have rotation, especially as Nigeria's political leadership has since 1999 been rotated between the southern and the northern part of the country? Do you think it is proper to have such a system in the country?
Because it is proper because of our usual political differences, our ethnic backgrounds, our social cultural differences, and then secondly, our collective wealth, our collective resource control in the country. So it's important that when the other zone have a share of the presidency, control that affairs of the country, the other zone, who are also a part of the stakeholders, especially from the south, who generates almost the state revenue from its oil derivations and some other commercial activities. So it's important that once the presidency finish in the north, it goes back to the south, so that the south can also have the fair share of the power share, and also the south can also contribute their own to the governance of the country, because you might not know who has the best knowledge, who has the capacity to drive the country. And history have shown that some of the government appointees who has hold political offices from the south, they delivered very well in this administration and in some other previous administrations.
Okay, Comrade Nelson, I want to refer you back to that election touted to be won by Abiola, where Tofa also lost at home, if you remember, in the early 90s. Now, that election, the defiled ethno and religious background. Now, it was a time that Nigerians didn't look at religion. It was a time that Nigeria didn't look at ethnicity. Don't you think that we can get back to that point in time again in our electoral system and also a political system in the country?
That election of MK Abiola, you know the peculiar situation at that particular time. That was actually when the country is just transiting from the military rule to the civilian rule. So
if you compare what MAMAN said here, that we should look at competence and not look at the rotation between the southern and the northern part of the country, that competence should be considered. Don't you think that is tailoring towards that type of election that we had back then?
Yes, I support the issue of that competency. So I support the competency, but that election that is tailored to the south, that MK Abiola won, it was based on the popular demand. It was based on the person's on the collective Nigeria's interest to bring MK Abiola to the mainstream of power. So who knows if he would deliver if he was elected is another question. So, and the issue of competence is important, but I am of the view that in the south we have a lot of competent men, women, technocrats, professionals that are going to man the office of the presidency, and they will deliver the desired results.
Then, if that should not be a problem, why are some persons agitated due to that statement made by MAMAN DAURA, the nephew to Mr. President?
And yes, that was the point I've earlier on stated. That particular comment does not need public outcry, does not need public agitation. It does not need a public debate, because somebody who wants to start on with the office of the presidency must somebody who has the knowledge, must somebody who has the technical knowledge, somebody who has the whole endowed knowledge and the half of our social, cultural differences and diversity to ensure that he drives this Nigerian agenda. So the issue of somebody being competent, somebody being knowledgeable is a very good is a very good one, and it's at the right direction. So it does not need public debate, it does not need public outcry, it does not need public agitation.
All right, I really want to appreciate your time this morning, Comrade Nelson Nwafo. Thank you very much for your time on the platform.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Now, joining on the conversation, we just spoke with a comrade, a political analyst, and also human rights activist. Also joining us this morning is Dr. Oke Onwachuku, is a university lecturer and a member of the All Progressives Congress. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
Welcome.
People in FLO FM.
All right, you're welcome. My name is Michael, and you're on FLO 94.9 FM, the platform. Now, MAMAN DAURA's comment came at a time when some Nigerians are agitating for a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction from the southeastern part of the country. What is your initial reaction when you saw that interview?
Well, you see, as Nigerians, as a Nigerian, I'm used to Nigerians reacting to comments that most of the times does not need a response.
Okay.
And MAMAN DAURA had made a comment in his own capacity as an individual, as a Nigerian. The comment was not made by the president. It was not made by the spokesman to the president. The comment was not made by the party in power. So I ordinarily did not see any reason to start responding to MAMAN DAURA. However, as somebody from the southeast, I also feel that the rotation of power must come to the southeast in 2023. And then what we need as Easterners is to put our together, come together, and then find a way to be able to get the support of the other zones in the country. At the moment, the question should be, are we, Southeasterners together? What is our effort in ensuring that power comes to the southeast?
Okay, when you say that MAMAN DAURA shouldn't have been responded to, it shouldn't have generated a whole lot of reactions, that comment and agitation from the members of the public now, don't you think the fact that MAMAN DAURA is a nephew to Mr. President and he has been touted as the leader of a cabal in court by the wife of the president running affairs in the presidency, don't you think that might have initiated the agitation by those agitating that comment shouldn't come at this point in time?
Of course, that comment did not necessarily deny the Southeasterners the right to produce the presidency.
Okay.
And I hope you are very, very familiar, you are very, very aware of that comment. He did not sideline or say in any way that the Southeasterners cannot produce the president. I'm sure his comment has been misconstrued.
Okay, he opined that competence and not geography should determine the next president.
His emphasis was on the issue of competence. Okay, what we should do, see, power, of course, as you know very well, is not given freely. You must go for it. You recall that the South got the presidency not on a platter of gold. It came with a lot of agitations, a lot of outcry, and at some point the party thought they need to cede power to them and to support them in producing the president. In that 2011 election. Well, the issue is that we let our people begin to put up a common front, and then enhance this, agitation that it is time for power to come to the Southeast. I, for one, I believe that power should be, returned to the Southeast.
Okay, when you say a common front, Dr. Nwachukwu, what exactly do you mean by a common front?
Well, it has to be something that will not be so much, politicized. It must not be something that has to be, a partisan thing. I think the Igbos, we should be able to come together and find out those with credibility. You see, there are those who have no credibility, who want to be president in the Southeast. I want to make it very clear. And if we present those who are not credible enough, who have issues of integrity, issues of corruption, the outsiders will not take us serious. So we are elders, leaders in this part of the country, should do everything possible in seeing how we can rally behind a credible person. Chief Atoeze had made a comment that the Northerners will support Ndi Igbo in producing the presidency. Well, I want to also believe that his comment has generated a lot of reactions, like you've rightly said, and people are now motivated to begin to see the need for Ndi Igbo to facilitate and then put more pressure on other parts of the country to support the presidency of Igbo extraction. So I want to believe that credibility, we must come together and search and find out who are those people that we can support. The two major political parties in the country is the APC and then the PDP. So if these parties can ensure within their party that they can secure the support of the party in general, I think that is something that is very, very possible.
Okay,
that has to be done.
Another thing of concern now is the participation of the people in the Southeast to matters, issues of politics. You remember Mr. President mentioned and made some reactions, also made some comments before the before the last general elections concerning how the Southeast as a whole didn't give him a total amount of a particular vote. Now, don't you think that might also affect the possibility of an Igbo president in 2023? The number of PVCs vis-a-vis the number of people that come out to vote during election.
Well, I want to also, point the fact that you see, some of the things we are discussing here has to do with it is the party, the political party that should be able to decide some of these things. In the first place, if Nigerians believe, and political leaders, the parties in question, they believe that equity is important in the Nigerian project, in moving Nigeria forward, then the issue of the population of a particular zone,
Yes.
would not be an issue. It would be a secondary issue. But the primary thing is that political parties who want the progress of Nigeria, who believe in equity, who believe that the Igbos have supported them in the past, and who believe that this nation can, should continue to move forward, they must not look at the issue of the population in giving support, to the Southeasterners. Although we may not have that support, the population to produce a president. Yeah, but no other section of the country has produced a president in the past without the support of the Easterners. And so we need them to also give us support. The parties in question, the leadership of the party, should be able to do things that will show that yes, it is the turn of the Southeast. Because if you look at this, the agitations today in the country, it is on the basis that there is no equity, there's no fairness, that some people have been marginalized. And this boils down to insecurities, and other issues that is bedeviling this country. So what I want to, believe is that if we are to get these things right, then the issue of population, that the Southeasterners have no sufficient votes to produce a president, shouldn't be the question.
Now, another thing, another point of discussion this morning, Dr. Nwachukwu, is looking beyond social, religious, and cultural lines, political lines in selecting the president. Remember that election touted to be the freest and fairest election in Nigeria that produced Abiola, and also Tofa lost in his hometown in Kano, which defiled all political tension, ethnicity, religions. Those things were put at one side, and people voted their mind. Then don't you think that we should move on and stop looking at some of these variables in determining the president of the country?
Yeah, you're just like Mr. MAMAN had said. You see, we need people with competence. When you find a man with competence, a man with integrity, a man that has no questionable, character, you will certainly see that such a person will enjoy the support and the patronage of people, Nigerians. So I see that what will lead to the support that we enjoy must depend on the credibility of the candidate we produce. So the issue, the social, religious issues in the country, for me, does not really play out during elections. What plays out during elections, or what plays out when you find a good leadership, is the person's character, the person's competence.
Doctor, permit me to cut in here. When you say it doesn't play out, we've seen where people come against a Muslim ticket, a Christian ticket, which will definitely affect the outcome of a particular political party.
Certainly, a Southeastern candidate for the presidency will not also, be paired with somebody who is also a Christian. We know all those things. But what I'm trying to say is that it is not a benchmark, for support. It has never been a benchmark for support. Even during the time of Moshood Abiola and King Ibe or whatever, they were both Muslims, and then they enjoyed support, perhaps because of their credibility, because of the popularity of these candidates. Not on the basis that they came. Although that a lot has happened between that time and now, and a lot of wrong things have also happened, and people are no longer comfortable. People are now suspicious. So to down the suspicion, I believe that that is what informed the need to have a joint ticket paid by a Christian, a Muslim. So when we have a Southeastern president, we can ordinarily, we will also enjoy. They will also get a candidate from the other side who will pair up with. But that is the decision of whoever emerges as the presidential ticket of the major political parties in the country.
All right, Dr. Oke Nwachukwu, many thanks for joining us this morning on the platform on FLO 94.9 FM. We do appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, it is time for us to open the lines now for you to participate in the conversation this morning right here on FLO 94.9 FM. You heard Dr. Nwachukwu. He's a university lecturer and a member of the All Progressives Congress. The lines are very much open. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. It is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions right here on FLO 94.9 FM, and my name is Michael. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Michael.
Yes, you're welcome. What's your name? You're welcome.
A couple of times Nigerians would always go into the distractions of the APC government.
Oh, we lost that. Okay, try and call back if you can pull through before the end of the program. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael.
Yes, you're welcome.
I said I'm calling from Sydney.
You're welcome.
The Nigerian nation, the way it is presently structured, I don't even think that Igbo president or president of Nigeria of Igbo extraction will solve the problems facing the Southeast. Because I'm sure that the way Nigeria is presently structured, any Igbo president that emerges will either be a puppet to the North, or we find that seat too hot for him to operate freely. So I should think we need to emphasize the need for restructuring this country, first and foremost. It's very, very necessary. On the issue of zoning and competence, you see, one thing about politicians in Nigeria, we are not sincere. When the North was, when the South was holding to power, the North was crying that it's time for the power to shift to the North. Now that it is there with them, somebody there is now saying it should be about competence. But the truth is that we need both competence and the zoning to produce a viable leader. Igbos who are aspiring to contest, I think they need to do a lot of work, like we have pointed out, to ensure they garner support from both the North and the North Central and other geopolitical zones, because our population is too slim to give us.
All right, quickly wrap up the thoughts.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you.
Morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Who's another calling from my?
All right.
So, Mike, I still believe that power is not given. And with the model of our constitution and electoral reform in this country, I believe that elections are being conducted. And if we have not, or if we are not going to implement the restructuring that president of this country presented, I still believe that the North will still be having upper hands and upper power. Igbos are being marginalized. Just think about this. We are considering the geopolitical zones. While other states, there are some states in the northern geopolitical zone area that have 7 states. A local government, we have 44. Southeast there, we only have 5 states. So if we are to doing it by turn with what our constitution and the model of how we are doing our elections here, you will find out that at the end, the North now, because they are more in majority, they are more populated than the Southeast and the South, except that the Southeast, Southwest, and South will join hands together to match the North, which the Southwest will never believe to support the Southeast, South. So except things are done properly by restructuring this. People like MAMAN DAURA will come out to insult Igbos. There are many people that have been insulting Igbos while knowing fully well that Igbos.
He didn't. Just a moment. Just a moment. He didn't insult Igbo. He only made a statement that competence should be considered before geography.
Mr.
Right.
Mike, to an extent, you know, since 1960 that Nigeria got independent. Unfortunately, the first president of this country was an Igbo man. He never stayed there for 1 year. He was murdered, he was overthrown, and till date, from then to date, an Igbo man has not tested presidency, has not tested power, both in military regime and this civilian regime that we are talking about. And somebody will now tell us that powers is not given. When it was Jonathan, so when Goodluck Jonathan was the president of this country, the same people that were telling us that the powers are not made by, if you have to give powers, it should be made by competency and all of that. They never said anything. They were angry that Jonathan was taking power from the electoral. Now that is supposed to be the thought of him. Instead of them to join hands together to make sure that an Igbo man takes whatever other people have been
quickly
taking,
wrap up your thoughts so that we can get other reactions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Yes, you're welcome. Oh, I lost that also. Okay, let's get more reactions on the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the on the line.
You're welcome.
I don't think MAMAN DAURA was actually speaking for any political party. I will always call that a talk, Yapalo talk. Why did I say it? If he's talking about competence, I don't really think that when it comes to competency that his uncle would have been there. Because it is only in this country that I see illiterate leading professors. It is only in Nigeria.
Okay, can you withdraw that statement, please? That's to the extreme when you say illiterates leading professors. All right.
No problem.
Thank
no
you very
problem.
much.
I withdraw, but that's the fact.
You're not withdrawing it when you say that's the fact. Okay, some things are not allowed on radio. It's very important. Thank you.
It's all right. I withdraw it. Now, it is time for APC and PDP as political parties, the major political parties in the country, to produce president of Igbo extraction. Let them go and plug it out as a political party. Any of the individual that wins this thing, good. But as for telling us it's all about competence and all the rest of them, we have capable people here in the Southeast, more than capable, to pilot the affairs of this country. So it is very, very important for us to know that the Northerners are not ready to release this power to anywhere. Yes, power is not given, it is taken. I expect every Igbo leader now to rally around the southwest, and the Northerners. Whosoever that it is in the North, they should try to have a very solid agreement. It is the right of Igbo now to produce president. That is just the truth. And there is no two ways about it. Anybody telling us that let us go to the pool and slug it out, the person may be doing one or two mistakes. Why did I say it? Somebody like
quickly
Atiku
wrap up your thoughts.
Somebody like Atiku came out from the north, a Fulani man. Somebody like Buhari came out, a Fulani man. Southeasterners, South, rally around them and get them votes. So it is now the turn of the Southeasterners. From any of these political parties, please, they should do that. It's very, very important.
Thank you. Let's run the messages because of our time on the WhatsApp line. Peter Nwabweze from Obizi Amakama says, good morning. That's on the WhatsApp. Good morning, sir. Yes, we need a competent president that should come from Southeast. Thanks, Peter Nwabweze. On the SMS line, we also have messages here. Good morning, sir. Noble Hihanyi Chuku from Umuahia. On the issue at hand, the North and South president. Remember, our dem politics not at par with them. No, I didn't get this one. Okay, this one says, Mr. Michael, I want to tell my fellow Igbos to regroup together and have a good relationship with the North and the West, not saying that we have been marginalized. Yes, I support what Buhari's nephew said. Thanks and God bless Nigeria. This one says, MAMAN DAURA talking about competence and geography is apt. The truth is that Peter Obi is from the East and he's very competent and highly qualified. Ugonna. All right, those are the messages we can take now and also the calls we can take. The program returns on Wednesday. That will be the second edition for the month. Thank you very much for joining us. This edition will be on our YouTube page later today, FLO FM TV. Many thanks to the producer, Samson Eze. My name is Michael Oni.